Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, your data takes a trip. It leaves your phone, travels across the ocean, and lands in a data center owned by a trillion-dollar corporation. You don't own the model. You don't own the data. And if they decide to change the alignment or shut down your account, you lose everything. But a quiet revolution is happening in the basements and home offices of the world. People are realizing that you don't need a billion-dollar server farm to run world-class intelligence. With a decent GPU and a bit of open-source magic, you can have a God-in-a-box that works without the internet, never leaks your secrets, and has no censorship filters. Today, we're looking at local LLMs, the technology that is taking AI back from the cloud and putting it back in the hands of the people. To understand local LLMs, we have to talk about parameters. Think of parameters as the brain cells of the AI. For a long time, the rule was bigger is better. But in 2026, we've mastered the art of the small language model, or SLM. The secret is a process called quantization. Imagine taking a massive, high-fidelity audio file and turning it into a high-quality MP3. You lose a tiny bit of perfection, but the file size shrinks by 90%. Because of quantization, models like Llama 3, Mistral, and 5.4 can now fit entirely inside the VRAM of a consumer graphics card. If you have an NVIDIA 3060 or better, or an Apple M-series Mac with unified memory, you can run a model that is smarter than GPT 3.5 locally, for free, forever. So, how do you actually do it? You don't need a PhD in machine learning anymore. The local stack has become incredibly user-friendly. Tools like Ollama have turned local AI into a single command. It manages the weights, the inference engine, and the API endpoint. This is the game changer for developers. When you run a model locally, it creates an API on your local host. You can point your Python scripts or your agentic workflows to your own machine instead of paying OpenAI. But the real deep tech here is RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Since the model is on your machine, you can point it at your private documents, your company's SQL database, or your emails without ever uploading them to the cloud. The AI indexes your files locally, ensuring your data never leaves your air-gapped environment. This leads us to the most controversial part of local LLMs, uncensored models. Big tech models have guardrails. They are programmed to be helpful, harmless, and honest. But often, they go too far, refusing to write a dark fictional story or answer a sensitive political question. In the local community, users create obliterated or fine-tuned versions of these models. These are versions where the refusal mechanisms have been mathematically removed. While this raises concerns about bad actors using AI for harm, the community argues that true intelligence requires freedom. If you are a medical researcher or a novelist, you need an AI that doesn't lecture you on ethics every time you ask a complex question. Local LLMs aren't just for desktop PCs. We are seeing the rise of edge AI. Modern smartphone chips now have dedicated NPUs, neural processing units. This means your phone can summarize your notifications, rewrite your emails, and edit your photos all while in airplane mode. In 2026, we are moving toward the personal AI server. Just like people used to have a home PC, families are now setting up AI nodes, often using low-power chips like the Jetson Orin, to act as a private, local brain for their entire smart home. The cloud will always be more powerful, but the local model will always be yours. In the age of surveillance, privacy is a luxury. Local LLMs turn that luxury into a standard. But once you have a model, how do you make it work with other models? How do you manage a fleet of AIs? In our next video, we're looking at AI orchestration and the frameworks that are building the digital factories of tomorrow.